Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all. Living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My focus is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough.
What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from LV1Gaming.com. And congratulations, you guys are leveled up to 157. This is the Double XP podcast. Listen, some people would diss on Aloy and saying her face isn't quite right. God of War has been announced that it is cross-gen and coming in 2022. And I believe someone on this panel, me, said that was to be true a long time ago. And we're going to talk about, is Biomutant a bad game? Does it deserve all the hate that it has gotten? Before we do that, let's start with the man with the clamps, Citizen Snips.
What's going on, everybody? It's a wonderful Wednesday. We got the podcast crew here, 2XP's live, sun shining, birds are out, maybe. I don't know about that last part. It's probably not true. But I'm happy to be here anyway, so I'm excited. We've got people in the gaming world being idiots like always, which makes for content for us. So, yay. Yay, content.
When it goes down in your DM, if your email box is full, that's because Baron J67, the communications director, level1gaming.com, is trying to get in contact with you. What's going on, B?
Man, you know what? I'm really excited to talk about Biomutant and how it is a pretty damn okay game. And I'm ready. And why are we all mad about delays when there was no street dates? You know, I was trying to make delayed and date rhyme, but that didn't work.
It didn't.
Moving on.
Leave the rhyme into Dallas, please.
Probably for the best, yeah.
Next up, DALLAZ. Man.
Yeah. Gosh, diggity darn it. Yeah, man. Look. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know I brought food. Like always, pizza and these really, really good ass like bacon wraps, stuffed jalapeno. Some of them got brisket, some of them got chicken. You know how I go.
That sounds so good.
So good. You know, it's all smoky. But yeah, point is, not only do I like talking about food, I also like talking about video games. So you know, let's get it.
Last but not least, my right hand. What man? Slim Hugger, what's going on, sis?
Not much. I'm glad to be back with the crew and talk video games, maybe roast a few people, and just react to the general media outrage of games that ain't gotten a release date getting delayed. How does that happen?
And interesting enough, and I guess we're going to jump right into it and talk about this God of War. Everyone's reporting it as the God of War sequel, and I was almost certain that it was called God of War Ragnarok. Since when did everyone just assume it was called God of War Ragnarok? Because I thought it was.
I think that's what they originally called it on the Game Awards when they announced it.
Because now it's all being reported like no one's saying Ragnarok. Like no one's saying, everyone's saying God of War sequel, which makes me wonder, is it not? Is it not Ragnarok? But either way, I honestly, for the longest time, I've been saying, hey, this game it's not coming in 2021. It's coming in 2022. I said the same thing about Horizon Forbidden West, which they're saying that it's still on track for holiday 2021. Doubtful. I still say 2022, early first quarter 2022. All right. And then it comes out that it's a cross-generation title. I didn't know that was not common knowledge, because I've been saying that since the announcement of the game, that this is coming on PS4. This ain't nothing new. Maybe new to y'all, but we've been saying this on this podcast from the beginning. Maybe y'all should be paying attention to the Double XP podcast and what we say at LV1gaming.com, because we tried to tell y'all months ago, that this game was a PS4 title. So I'm not sure how this is new. However, we're going to jump right into it and get the panel's thoughts on God of War sequel, God of War PS4 sequel being delayed into 2022. And I want to start with our resident eater of the podcast, Dallas Man.
You know I'm more than okay with that. I'm like, you remember the same thing you said when we was watching Aloy run around and killing fools. I ain't got a PS5 yet. But I selfishly wanted to drop at a time where I know I'm gonna have one. Or where I can, whatever. Point is, besides that, it's just freaking God of War. I got so many freaking questions that need to be answered. And I don't know. I actually got to I'm finna do the fame thing, y'all watch. I actually got to meet Corey Barlog and tell him how dope I thought the game was, and he was like, yeah, wait till part 2, and I'm like, all right, let's get it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Pull a fame. Uh-oh. Is he frozen?
Oh, did he freeze?
He froze.
That food hit him. Somebody screenshot this.
Somebody please
DM
screenshot that.
It's going to be up to y'all. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to Baron. I know Baron has lots of thoughts about this. What you got, B?
Okay. We have to expect that we're going to be seeing PlayStation 4 games on new PlayStation 4 titles for at least 3, maybe 4 years. Or at least till we get to a point to where it's you see dusty PlayStation 5 boxes at Best Buy. I think until we get to that point, where it's just like all of a sudden the day one PlayStation 5 editions are on sale because they're coming out with a deluxe box edition that is the new standard. Remember they did that with the PS4? Like the original PS4, like Gen 1 or whatever, that had no game, they all went on sale to clear out the clearance, and then the only ones you could find after that were ones that came with games, and they cost a little bit more. People were getting away with like all type of crazy deals because they were price matching at best. I remember that, it was nuts. I couldn't get all of it. But I think until we get to that point, we're going to be seeing a lot of PlayStation 4 titles that are new. So I really think we're going to get Horizon Forbidden West on PS4.
Oh yeah, it is. That's been confirmed already. At least,
well,
in my mind, I'm not gonna lie, because I thought the God of War sequel was confirmed. So in my mind, I've been saying this game was on PS4. Somebody tell me, have they said it yet? Because I was shocked that people were shocked about God of War being on PS4. Like, cause I've been saying this ever since it was announced.
And it's so wild because we really gotta acknowledge the fact that there is too many not too many in a bad way, but there is a lot of PlayStation 4s out there in the universe that are still being turned on daily. And there's a lot of people still don't have PlayStation 5s. Not even that people can't afford to get PlayStation 5s, it's that people literally can't get a hold of one. So at MSRP or whatever, like I'm not about to buy I haven't heard of a game yet that's gonna push me to buy non-store price for a PlayStation 5. Oh. But
I agree with you. Mine is later in the year with Aloy. I'm getting the PS5 no matter what.
You gonna do it? You go fold. Don't do it. You gotta hold the line. Hold the door.
No, for Bay. Yeah, that's happening. I'm sorry, and we're gonna talk about that later. But yeah.
But that's it.
I do Hugger because I vaguely remember there was a company rhymes with Camera Coughed that was getting a lot of crap from the gaming community for saying, hey, we're going to support the Xbox One for 2 years. And the company that also rhymes with Crablation said that they believe in generations. And, you know, it's all about the PS5, baby. We moving on. And people say, yeah, they did the same thing from the PS3 and the PS4. They cut the PS3 off. No big deal. Well, we're going to be almost 2 years into the PS5, and we're still going to be getting PS4 games. Isn't this a bit of a hypocrisy from the gaming community when they allow Microsoft to get killed for saying, hey, we're going to support Xbox One for 2 years, and what it seems like so far is the only game that's going to be cross-gen from first party is two games, Psychonauts 2 and Halo Infinite. I do want to get your thoughts on that, because I think the hypocrisy is unreal.
I mean, anything one company does, the other fanboys will be all up in arms. I think Sony, they had a great generation with the PlayStation 4, but they're kind of getting their ass handed to them with some of the decisions. They like trying to shut down the PlayStation 3 stores, and then they did it like 2 months early, and that got reversed. I think Sony's kind of being forced into what they hate, which is transparency. Like, that's all people want. Be transparent with us. Those of us that have the critical thinking, I shouldn't say critical thinking, because this is all we do. Day in and day out, we run a gaming website, we talk about games, we can think that way. For somebody on Twitter, they don't spend all day talking about games. We knew for the next 3, I would even say 4 or 5 years, because I think this pandemic is really cattywampus things up in here. We won't see them not support the PlayStation 4 for a very long time. And as a PlayStation 4 owner, I'm not mad about it, but I also understand that I don't need the space station behind me when I'm trying to fire up a game. It Takes Two. I thought it was gonna melt my PlayStation, and that's not a next gen game.
And that's not a demanding game, yeah.
Exactly. So it's a beautiful game, good story too, but I just don't. PlayStation just needs to be open and honest. I think that's the biggest thing people are having an issue with. It's like God of War Ragnarok. We know that it's going to be multi-plat and cross-gen. Or, I guess I shouldn't say multi-plat, cross-gen. But they need to be open and honest with that.
Because one thing a bit sneaky about Miles Morales too, Hugger? Like, didn't they wait till the last possible minute to say, hey, it's on PS4 as well?
God, I just want a bite of what Dallas is eating. God dang.
Like I don't know, Snips. I don't know if Sony is the smartest or sneakiest company of all time, because they allow, and this is the first thing, they allow Microsoft to take all of the stones, and then they come from behind. Yeah, we doing that too, and no one cares. Like, I do want to get your thoughts on the delay and the cross-gen of these titles that Sony led us on to believe that wasn't going to be a thing with the we believe in generations.
So yeah, here's the problem. I'll go over the delay really quick first, even though it technically a delay. I don't know. They never said when it was coming out, so like we were saying, it's hard to call it a delay. But if y'all didn't expect that, you're just plain crazy, first of all. But the issue here, so I trust Cory Barlog to make a great video game.
Indeed.
And if he tells me he needs more time to make his great video game,
indeed.
Okay. That's all he needs to say. And I'm just going to be like, yep, makes sense to me. Go for it, bud. So he's going to do his thing, and he's going to make a great game, and I'm going to wait for it. I don't care. If you just look at what Sony's doing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what they're doing. There is nothing wrong with, especially because you gotta understand that all of these games, Ragnarok or whatever it's going to be called, Forbidden West, they didn't start making these games last week. They didn't start making these games even a year ago. They started making these games many years ago, before they probably even knew what a PS5 was going to be. So of course it's going to be cross-gen, because the PS4 was what they knew they had, and they had to start developing based off of that. So there's that whole thing to consider. But I think the biggest part of it is, how can I say this? you created your own hypocrisy. What you're doing isn't wrong, but the fact that you came out and acted like doing exactly what you're doing right now is some sort of sin or something that you're not going to be involved in because you're different from Microsoft and that's their deal. No, we're all about generations. We're all about this and moving on to the next horizon. It's like, okay, you said that, but that's not what you're doing.
We see what you did.
Yeah, so that's the problem. The problem lies in the fact that you created your own hypocrisy, and I can't save you from that. But at the end of the day, nobody's really going to give a crap because they're still going to want a PlayStation and they're still going to want to play those games. So they're going to get them. But if you're really mad about it, you can just wait a little bit and it'll come to PC.
We eat good on PC, man.
But yeah,
you know what?
We eating.
I don't like what Sony's done with the whole hypocrisy thing, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. That was their marketing strategy. It worked for them. They sold a bunch of their consoles. They're doing great. They're not hurting in the bank account department. So it really doesn't matter what we say or do unless we're going to say it with our wallets, and I don't think anybody's prepared to do that. I think we all want to play the games. So they win.
You know what's the funniest thing is we follow quite a few people on Twitter. When some people we've had on the show, and the people that we know, some of them are losing their minds on Twitter, and it cracks me up because they crucified CD Projekt Red for putting Cyberpunk out too early. And they're like, well, I wanted this game in 2021. It's like, you want a half-finished buggy mess? Do you not remember Cyberpunk? Because I remember you losing your mind on social media when you played it. Do you want a finished game or do you want a half-bugged mess?
We need to get to a point to where
have bad memories.
People need to realize that if a game is delayed, that means it's not ready. Like, people get upset, and the game's not ready. Like, do you want a broken game or do you want a well-polished game? Why can't you wait?
Do you want Anthem or do you want The Witcher?
You know what trips me out? One thing that really throws me off about these games is the long I don't want to say long form, but the overextended marketing windows. That I feel like that was a really big way of saying a very simple term.
Yeah, you gotta make it complex,
right? For no reason. I'm trying to figure out the simple word, but I'm frozen here. But why do we even need this large marketing window for God of War? God of War could come out tomorrow, market today, and it'll sell millions. Top selling games of all time
instantly.
I don't understand. And then they try to offset the budget of the marketing on us as the consumer through microtransactions, blah 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 blah. I'm not saying that's what God of War is going to do, but that's the it's more expensive to make games. No, it's just more expensive to pay for the marketing because you decide to put it everywhere for 3 years and then delay it another year.
We're seeing now, maybe because we're at home, the balance of, because I mean we were out, we weren't focusing on this. The only time we'd really look at it was E3. Is we're seeing now the balance between the board and the investors and them trying to keep it happy, and now we can see that, and it's coming to a head, and we're like, oh, so you don't really, I mean, we know they don't care about us. If you think any of these companies care about you and they're ride or die for you when you're ride or die for them, you're a fool.
They care about your money.
Money. And this is the crazy part. I honestly believe a lot of these companies can make more money, more profit. They lowered the amount of marketing. I feel like a lot of these games is over marketed. Now maybe that's because we like live and breathe in this industry, and I could be speaking from my pedestal in it.
There's a lot of marketing directors that will assault you.
Yeah, like and
you're coming after their job, sir.
Dude, as a guy who like bugs people in emails, I get it. But it just certain titles, like I reference back to Fallout 4. Like, even though I didn't launch his other Fallouts, I was super excited. I love the way they launched it. Like, you talked about the game, and then it came out, like 4 or 5 months later? That was beautiful. Like, I thought that was one of the coolest things ever, and I was really hoping that would run the trend for how games dropped from then on. And it didn't. But it was a nice thought.
I do want to go to the chat really fast and pull out a few things that the guys said. We like to interact with you guys. So, Logic Win says, I'm not upset that these games are cross-gen, but the fact that Sony withheld this information from us for so long is the issue.
Yeah.
Gerald
It's not
Mack.
necessarily what they're doing. It's how they're going about doing it. That's the problem.
Gerald Mack with the support. I appreciate that, man. So we bring content every week. Hey, man, we appreciate you coming out and rocking with us. Most definitely. We appreciate that. There was one more thing I wanted to pull out here. Where did we go? God, dog. Where'd it go?
Facts talk about the marketing is for the general consumer. 1000%.
Another one by Logic Win. Far Cry 6 looks phenomenal in my opinion. I'm glad it was delayed. And that just goes to it. Trust me, we're going to be so happy that Halo was delayed a year. I bet you the quality of life improvement. Because, let's be honest, Halo didn't look that great. It didn't look bad. I don't think it deserved the hate it got. But I'm sure they knew they had the capabilities to make it look better. And hopefully that's what we get at E3 when they show the multiplayer or whatever they show. We say, "Oh, okay, this is what a year can do." And it's we're in a pandemic, dude. Like it's hard. It's hard for most games to hit their release date at this point. Like we're going to be well into 2022, 2023 before games begin to come out on time and get delayed less, in my opinion. But Dallas, you back, bro? You were frozen for a minute. Welcome back.
Oh yeah, I was in the shadow realm. I'm not even gonna lie, I really actually forgot what I was saying, but everything Snip said, and plus, you're not gonna get the game before it come out anyway. You're just gonna be frustrated for the next year or whatever. Like you're just gonna fuss on Twitter for the next year. Like you'll be alright. You're really not gonna get however long people's games need to cook, however long they need to make a masterpiece or a piece of shit, whatever it comes out to be. Just give them time to do that. Don't think you have much of a choice either way. And there was another point that I had, but I forgot what it was, so we can move to the next topic.
And listen, right on time, I dropped the meme and Bammer jumped right on time. I tried to time that picture out perfectly for the next topic. But before we go to the next topic, do us a big favor. If you guys are watching, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Share the stream out. And don't forget to get your gaming news from LV1gaming.com, okay? Now, this one I take personally, okay? As one of the leaders of the Fat Guy Coalition, I am not okay with y'all trying to do the Bay doing State of Play, okay? I'm not okay with that. I meant to do a 15 minutes of fame on this, but I couldn't. I didn't do this Memorial Day. I asked not to do it. But as the leader of the Fat Guy Coalition, it's not okay for y'all try to fat shame Aloy. Listen, did I notice during the stream? I noticed she was a little cheeky. Yeah, but I like that shit. You feel me?
Like them cheeks. Good.
You feel me?
Good.
I don't understand.
Post-apocalypse, she's eating.
She's eating Raptor. You feel me? Like she's doing her thing. And what's bothering me the most is you got these people who are always wanting to overly sexualize gaming characters. Granted, yeah, I call her bae and I joke around, but you got people literally taking it to Photoshop and saying, "Hi, see, this is so much better. Listen to your fan. This is a better version." Listen, is she a little thicker? Yup.
Good.
Who cares, bro?
It's a video game.
Like who like she looks fine. People want these super duper, like we in the year 3076 and the world's coming to an end, but you worried about a chick putting on some makeup. Y'all, she kind of rough looking. She a little bit manly. Listen, Aloy look like good as she is. She looks human. I do want to start with you, Snips, man. Your thoughts on the Aloy fat face controversy?
It's very simple. Anyone who has any kind of complaint, and it's always about female video game characters, never about male game characters, by the way. That should tell you something right off the bat.
That should tell you a lot.
Anyone who has an issue with how Aloy looks, for example, in this latest trailer or in the game, you need to understand something. This is part of why you're single. One, just because you're single, that doesn't mean that all of the females who can't run away from you by choice because they're literally trapped in a video game or some other form of media have to be designed for you to masturbate to.
Preach.
That's the truth. Get over yourself. Just go away. Sit in your room for a little while. Don't watch any TV. Just sit in the dark for a minute and think about you and your life and what you are saying. And I hope it inspires you to make change. Because there might still be hope for you. It's not too late, okay? But if you continue spewing this crap, just go away, man. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Just shut up about it. Like, you can write it on your wall and yell it at yourself because you're the only person who's going to listen to you. It's ridiculous, man. I can't stand seeing this crap.
It's Snips. He's
Get a life,
mad
man.
as hell. It's Snips.
That's really all it is,
He's
dude.
going off. It's Snips.
It's so dumb.
Hey,
It's so dumb.
Like we need Snips. Dallas, you're muted, I think. I see you talking, but we had no sound. Yeah, you are muted. There you go.
I was telling Snips, whatever you do, don't settle for being ordinary. Whatever you do.
Settle for being
Amen.
ordinary. But I
And
do
if y'all
want to.
tuned in to 15 minutes of fame, then you know what they meant.
That's really all I gotta say about it, man. It's obvious y'all are single because, and I feel sorry, these video game women can't run from you. They have no choice. If you buy the game, they have to be there on your screen.
Damn.
But it doesn't mean that they have to be specifically designed to cater to your sick little fantasies. Just let it go, man. Let a person be, whether they're in a video game, an anime, or anything else, man. Just let it go.
I do want to move over to our resident sister of the podcast, the one that can speak on this the most because she is the one woman on the podcast, my sister. Fat Face, Thickums, Aloy. What you thinking?
I mean, if you feel like Sniff says, you're single, but also the people that are usually causing the biggest ruckus about this, look in the mirror. I bet you she's still skinnier than you, Mr. Wonton. Like, come on. It's a video game character. You don't have to play the game.
Yeah, man, I think my second chin has something to say about how she looks.
There's, like Trevor said, there's plenty of sexualized characters. This reminds me of when Assassin's Creed, when one of the directors came out and said they would never make a female-fronted game, and then they made Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and it was one of the highest-selling games they had because of Evie. She was the twin. Why? Like, are you losing your mind? And if you're worried about the sexualization of these characters, if that's your hill you want to die on, think of the Hawkeye Initiative. So, does anybody here know what the Hawkeye Initiative is? Okay. So there's this thing with, if you read comics, the characters are often very sexualized in their pose, you know, the superhero pose and all this stuff. So the Hawkeye Initiative is draw Hawkeye in that same pose, and if it's still too sexual, then you've overdone it, and take the pose back and redo it. So that's the Hawkeye Initiative. So if you're too bothered by the sexualization, put Hawkeye in there and be like, is that too sexual? No? Okay, leave it alone. And if you're worried about her fat face, bruh, I don't know what to tell you, man.
No cap. This is the dude that tells you that Aloy's face is too fat.
That is the dude.
Like, no cap. Like, that's really what it is, bro. Like, you got some self-hatred, insecurities going on in your life if you sitting there saying that, oh, she ain't pretty enough. But look at you.
She's pretty.
Yeah,
She's living in a post-apocalyptic world with robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, she looks better than I do. Shit.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the box of tissues and the lotion will forgive you for letting this one go. Guy at home who's raging over how Aloy
But look though, it's not even like she's not a different person. This ain't the Peter Parker thing. Oh my god.
Lord of mercy.
I know somebody that looks like that.
Well, don't be talking about me. I'm playing.
Damn.
Stupid.
And
Damn.
for a fellow woman coming after this, go get laid. But also, come on. I'm not with this. I have some issues with the body positivity movement because either you're too skinny, you're too big, they don't like you one way or another, whatever. Leave it alone. It's a video game. You're probably not going to play it anyway. Go away.
A is not that big a change, and B, just let like whatever it is, just let that be that. Enjoy it or don't. Like, move on if you don't.
Baron, are these selfies?
You always
Ooh.
on Baron's OnlyFans.com.
Ooh.
You know, people gonna disagree with me. You know who I think is absolutely beautiful? The face model for Abby. You ever seen her? I think she's beautiful, but people was coming out to her.
Oh, she's
because I'm like, bro, like y'all weird, bro. Like y'all are mad weird out here, bro.
Have you seen the face model for Lady Dimitrescu? She's actually a
haven't.
gorgeous woman too. Oh, she's gorgeous, and people are
But-
like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, come on, y'all,
No.
chill.
But is she 9 feet tall and thick?
Where are
That's
you
all people
getting
care about.
these?
All I know is everybody's prettier than me, except for the people who are complaining about how Aloy looks. Those are the only people I got beat. Everybody else, you're doing just fine. You're good. Don't worry about it.
I mean, this also brings back that old conversation when oh, somebody help me. Was it Winter Soldier came out and Scarlett Johansson had the poster with her ass all up in there, and people were like, "What the hell is this?" But nobody had anything. These neckbeards here had nothing to say about that because it was Scarlett Johansson. I'm like,
Scar
K-
Dev.
KD said he'll drink her bath water. That's a real quote. Like he said that on Twitter. Kevin Durant, Brooklyn Nets said he would drink her bath water. Look at Kevin like shit. Me too.
I mean, we're not gonna sit here and act
Hey,
like she's
man.
the Wicked Witch of the West or nothing, because
There's worse things
I
you
think
can
the-
do.
I think the point
This
is the
is
double
true.
standard, but you know,
yeah.
That part.
I mean, if I was Scarlett Johansson, I would sell it as my bathwater, but have it be my twin's bathwater because she is a twin.
Or just have it be Dasani.
They know she was a twin.
No, because there'd be some weirdo be like, "There's no human scent in this. Like,
Oh,
you need to get out."
We've fallen so far from God's grace.
Bro, we
Oh,
fell
he
we
real
got
left us
locked in
far.
long
quarantine
ago,
for
man.
a year and
He
a
left
half.
us long ago for his own sake.
I do want to point out
But
another.
no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just go ahead.
No, so I want
You're
to
being
point out
weird.
another comment in the chat from Gerald. He says, this kind of nonsense about video game characters keep the weirdo stigma on gamers forever. We got to do better. She's a video game character, not real. And that's facts. I'm sorry, bro. I thought it was mad weird when people are lusting over the what's the female lemons?
Dickums.
No, from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh,
yeah, that was weird.
That
Yo,
was
like,
weird.
for like a
I'm
week,
like-
it was mad weird on Twitter, bro. I'm like, y'all tripping.
Are you serious?
They
Look,
sexualized
I don't-
the hell out of that. Is it Lombox?
Linebackers.
Lombax.
I don't-
All I know is I hope they live in a place with like no squirrels or wildlife.
Man,
Because if they be eyeing her, I don't know what they're gonna do when they look outside and they're like,
Is that a
Oh
squirrel?
no, I
No.
hate that. Train of thought.
no.
That squirrel like nuts?
whoa, whoa.
Man, I don't understand it. I feel like it's
Look,
not.
like I don't
isn't-
kink shame nothing except feet and animals.
This isn't, this is what I was about to
I
say.
mean-
The bathwater, at least it's not feet stuff, right?
I don't know if the animal stuff is
Uh-oh.
illegal in like 30 states.
Here
Yeah.
go Baron.
You know what
Baron
I'm saying?
finna
Like-
admit to his
like,
feet
And
kink.
now I'm looking at the states where it's legal. What are y'all
Yeah,
doing?
that's why I was like, wait a minute.
It's just
Wait a minute.
the
How
thing
is this
about
in
it is, like-
legislation? How is this in writing that it's okay?
No,
I
no,
don't know.
Marry your
whoa.
second cousin.
Whoa. Chocolate. Now, Chocolate. Now, I even joked around
They
with
did,
this, and I
though.
can't
They
say
did.
it. Because he said people sexualized Lola Bunny back in the 90s. And Baron don't.
But that's because
I had a
he-
conversation with Baron, and he will never let me let go of what.
Oh no.
But that
Hey,
was
he
the
was
thing,
worried I was about to drag him. That's why he tried to jump in front of it. Look, I'm not gonna drag.
No.
I'm not gonna drag him about that, but I will say this: I didn't sexualize Lola Bunny. They sexualized Lola Bunny. They gave her curves.
They did.
They had her sashaying around like she was Roger Rabbit's wife.
Facts.
They did that. I
did.
didn't do it. They did it.
I think the,
You're not making yourself look less guilty. I'm just not seeing that.
Yeah, I would have
last
had.
thing I
I
can
would have
think
had
of-
bunny babies.
the last thing I can think of to help clarify it for these sad little people wherever they are, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Horizon Forbidden West Ratchet and Clank, the Rift Apart, they're not pornos. They're not. They're like action adventure role playing video games is what they are. So I think you're looking for the wrong thing in the wrong place. Is really what it comes down to.
Go read some fan fiction if you're that hard out, mate.
Yeah. It's the internet has it. I'm sure it's all out there. Go find it, but keep it to yourself.
I mean,
please. We don't need you
like what you like or whatever.
Publicly.
Excuse me, y'all. I know I'm talking with my mouth full, but
Sir,
like what you like, man. I'm not gonna roast you because you like video game characters with curves, whatever. Like I might make a little fun of you, but you know, it's all in good fun. But if they're not already like that, go find you something. Like the internet is a big place. I'm sure you've already found it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, now, be for real.
They probably
like I said, emphasis on role playing. See, we gotta stop making role playing games because people taking it too far.
You're banned. You're banned. There's different meaning.
Also, the Great Wide United States of America, the bestiality, as they say in the UK, it's illegal. It's legal in Hawaii, New Mexico, West Virginia, and Wyoming. But it's also unknown for the sales and distribution and the ownership of that type of material in almost every state. So
yeah,
it's a gray area.
We have strayed far from God's light, man. Because folks,
it's not a gray area. It's a gross area.
Yeah, now that's on my search history, but I was too curious to let it go.
And I think people got to realize there is a fine line because yes, I come on here and I say Baylor and all that stuff, but to me, that's different from someone actually sexualizing and making everything overly sexual in game. Yeah, we got sex scenes in game, and that Abby sex scene Last of Us 2 was the weirdest thing I've seen in a long time. I do understand that. But when we trying to make a linebacker sexy and want to touch that linebacker, it's a problem. Shout out to the homie Sincere who did a video about this. That's mad weird. And to get back to the subject, the subject matter, Aloy is good how she is, fam.
And I'm sure it's going to be a great video game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great video game.
Which is the important part.
The only character we've sexualized, like, and it was even in a joking term, was Lady D. And that was even in a joking, like, I like her, whatever.
The whole internet was goo-goo for booty on that one, man.
But I'm not going to stab you because I am horny for a fictional character. That's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Listen,
not the good kind of weird.
Weird.
Before we move on to the next topic, once again, do us a big favor, hit that like button, share the stream out, subscribe if you haven't, get your gaming news from LV1gaming.com. I'm about to put the link to our Biomutant review in the description. I'm about to put that up right now because that is the next topic of discussion. Oh, and by the way, I saw it.
Wait, did I do that backwards?
Listen.
I don't know which way they're seeing it.
This Joker nice.
That sword is bigger than clouds.
It pretty.
Oh, did that come? No, it's not because the guy's smaller. It's an issue
of
scale.
The ratio of it.
Yeah.
So I do
ratio of blade to body. Yes.
Biomutant was the talk of the town because
bring those neckbeard pictures
1080p on PS5 and 4K on Xbox. It was the talk of the town because of that, and then the reviews came out, and the reviews weren't high, and everyone said this game is trash, this game is sucks. Some people saying this game is awesome. So I do want to start with Baron, who had the pleasure of doing the review for Level1Gaming.com. LV1Gaming.com. And I'm about to link that. I'm about to link that review in the description. But Baron, I know you wrote the review, but kind of give us your thoughts. Does it suck? Is it a bad game?
No. It's getting a lot of crap. It's not justified. Like I feel like people who are crapping on the game didn't play it longer than 30 minutes to an hour. Like to completely crap on it. One, you got to give it its flowers where it deserves it. It's one of the prettiest games that I've played in years. The color palette is off the charts. The world design, they did a good job of letting you know that this is after human, like the fall of human civilization. Like it's they took old towns the buildings properly, grew through it. It did a really good job. And then seeing the fortress designs, how each clan or each tribe had their own different look and feel to them and culture. They're I feel like the narrator and the lack of other voice actors being in the game, I feel like overall that robbed that took a lot away from the game. And I feel like that's going to be the biggest complaint that a lot of people are going to stick to for a long time to come when it comes to that game. I don't think they'll ever really fix it in terms of adding more voice actors or anything. But they did add in some. They added in some settings to where you can get rid of the narrator completely, if I'm not mistaken, and lower the amount of gibberish and get rid of the gibberish as a whole. Right, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, so I'm used to hours on end listening to one voice. Like that's something that I'm used to, but I know that that's not normal for a lot of people. And for this to be touted and pushed out, even though THQ came out and said they're not a AAA game, but for this to be pushed like a AAA game, because it falls short in certain areas such as the voice acting and just this weird hollow feeling of the game. It's something I can't explain. There's a couple people here who've played it. Am I far off by saying that it has a really awkward, empty feeling to it?
Is like, so how big, if you can compare it to another game, how big is the overall map?
The overall map, I would say
the area of Los Santos, but not past Los Santos in GTA.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very big. It doesn't look like it. At first I was disappointed. Like, I'm gonna be 100% with you. When I first booted up the game and before I finished the intro area, which should have been a demo, because that would be a great way to sell what the game was.
The intro area should have been a demo. Fame. Missed opportunity.
It should have been a demo. When you first look at the map, I'm like, if this is to scale, I'm feeling like this is going to be a really small game. Breath of the Wild big, probably a little smaller, but not much smaller. It's a very big game. Like, you'll find yourself, like, it takes a while to get from corner to corner, and there's a lot of things in between to do. But the problem is they're so spread out and there's no roaming. There's not very many roaming enemies. And then you're constantly hearing the same narrator over and over, making little quips and whatnot that you start feeling like you're on a crazy train. It's once again, I'm used to it, but I'm like, I got over a month worth of audiobooks like listened to just on my phone alone. So I'm used to that. A lot of people ain't built for that type of energy. And it's a fun game. If you guys read the review, I gave it a 6.9 out of 10. The crafting is amazing. The combat is not as big as they said it would be, but it's pretty good. The shooting's weird. There is no there is no locking on. It's this weird like auto lock. Long as you're aiming in the general direction and pulling the trigger, it kind of locks on. Which makes it kind of feel like a Xbox, like an old school Xbox game or a PlayStation game. Like it takes it way back in terms of that mechanic. Like for the first few hours of the game, I kept accidentally pulling the left trigger trying to lock on to enemies, and that that activates a whole different menu, and or button configurations. But overall, not only for a team, a 20 people team who made this game at Experiment 101, not only is it a good game, it's a good game, period. Like I tried my best to distinguish, like separate that, because that'd have been easy. Like it'd have been easier to give it a higher score because only 20 people made it. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to look at it as a game, and as a game, outside of the fact that it was only made by 20 people, it holds its own weight. The design of the characters is limitless. The art, you could charisma your way through a lot of portions of the game. Hell, there's big AAA titles that have charisma, and the charisma perk means nothing. This game, period, not just because it's made by 20 people, it holds its own. Is it a perfect game? No. Is the story one of the most memorable things out there on Earth that we're going to talk about for years to come? No. But you can't ignore the fact that it is big. That's what she said. Pause. It's colorful and it's beautiful. The customization is out of this world. And there's a bunch of different ways to play it. They even have a morality system. It's kind of murky. Like, you really don't know exactly what you're about to do. Like, I prayed to a statue and didn't realize I was doing something bad. Like, I had no indication I was doing something bad, but it gave me a bad mark, but I got a boosted side
holding
point.
up the head of something else?
I don't know. I was so
context
confused.
Clues.
Yeah, none at all. It's not like blood
clues.
dripping from it. Doesn't have like a black aura or something, like nothing. It just, I prayed to it, got an extra point, and got a bad mark. Okay. But really, the game is good. I would say catch it on sale. But I say that about a lot of games, and Fame mentioned it before. It would take a lot for me to just say day one, go buy this game right now. It would take a lot for me to say that. This doesn't deliver on that, but it is a fun game. I don't regret my time with it. I had fun.
So you gave it a 6.9. Let's say for all intents and purposes, it's a 7, right? I think there's a blurred lines, there's a miscommunication, there's a disconnection somewhere to where a 6.97 is a bad game.
Bad game.
Yeah. That's really dumb.
7 is more like
perfection or bust.
If you're not into the subject matter, you'll think it's a bad game, and if you are,
there you go. It is a niche game. I would say a 7 is a very good niche game.
Mm-hmm.
That it's not for everybody, because I think to say a 10, that means it's great for a large portion of gamers. Like, if you give something a 10, that means almost anybody who touches it is gonna love it. It's crazy. Like, that's a good point. And it's funny, I got on Reddit not too long ago jumping into different conversations about Biomutant, and I put on there, I was like, I gave the game a 6.9, and that does not mean it's a bad score. That's not a bad score. I had fun with the game, but it just it's not perfect. And then it had a lot of things, like, it was the first game I ever had to go into the settings and turn off the NPC audio. I've never felt the need to do that in any other game ever. And for me to have to do that the first time with this one that I'm reviewing, there's no way I could give it a super great score just on that alone. Because I've never, like, how NPC communication is a huge part of an action RPG game. Mm-hmm. So for me to want to go in and mute that, like, completely, not turn it down, I completely muted it.
It just had gibberish voices to it?
Yes. And then the problem was the gibberish would play first, and then the narrator would speak.
And the gibberish can be like a good 15 seconds. Like,
yeah, it's not. It'd be different if they did like what's that game that everybody loves? Animal Crossings. If they did like Animal Crossing, where it was just like beep beep beep, and then all of a sudden it was a big paragraph, that would have been fine. But and then had their mouths moving like an old school JRPG or something. There was a bunch of other ways they could have did it. And honestly, a lot of the problems the game does have are fixable, in my opinion. I think you can add in roaming enemies and roaming random encounters. How maybe that's really big. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know.
Baron, let me ask you this. Seeing how the open world is a bit hollow, would this game have benefited from being linear?
Ooh. That's a good question. I would say no, because it would have really, I think it would have messed with the customization aspect of the game if it was linear. And that's where it shines. It's so funny. I feel weird like calling it hollow. Like, the title of the review was beautiful, fun, but hollow. Like, it's super strange to say all those things in one sentence and mean it. Like, I'm dead serious with you guys. It has a awkward, hollow feeling, but the game is fun. The customization is off the charts. I had my character carry a casket like Tanjiro from freaking Demon Slayer, and then I had they call it a UFO hat or UFO cap, and it was like a metal tin lid, and I boosted the stats on that, and then I'm wearing this like leather jacket, and
You just
and
look a
then
mess.
and then my hammer, my it's not a hammer, it's called a crush weapon. My crush weapon does ice damage and was doing a from 600 to 800 damage. I found it early on because I boosted my luck skill because I had a funny feeling with all the amount of looting you would do in the game that it was going to carry me. And I found this item early on, and it was in rotation all the way to the end of the game. It was easy. I had to force myself to put it down because it was one of the best weapons I had. But I don't think you could have had that and made it linear. Could they have shrunk the world a little bit? Maybe. Like it maybe could have benefited from being a little smaller, cut it down a bit. But the game is pretty to look at, so it wasn't too bad, but it was just weird.
You know, I do want to hear from Dallas, because I think out of everyone on the panel, Dallas is probably most excited for this game, and I get a gut wrenching hint of disappointment when he talks about Biomutant.
Oh,
It's funny you say that because like for the first I don't know how long of playing, I was telling y'all I kind of don't know how I feel about the game. And I'm still kind of like that, but I'm closer to the end of knowing how I feel. Like it's a good listen to a podcast, jam an album you ain't got a chance to listen to type game. And I don't play many of those, I don't know. I don't play many games that I think could serve that purpose. And I know it sounds like mental gymnastics to say like that's the purpose for the game, so that's why I'd play it. I really picked it up because I was interested in it, like whether it's a good game or not, whether I liked it or not. I was too curious to not find out. But really, everything Baron said, and me and you play games like the new release at the same time. We've done that a few times, right? And a lot of these games we went back and forth about a lot. But I don't think there was a thought about Biomutant just yet that wasn't echoed. And you beat the game at this point, so if it was going to be, you would have said something. So I don't know, man. Really, I'm feeling everything Baron said. I really had I don't know. I'm still like on the fence, but everything you said. If I could see the future, I would have picked it up on sale. Like really, if I was clairvoyant, I would have went and I would have picked it up from GameStop used or whatever. Am I disappointed? A little, a tad. Like it's not spectacular, but 20 people though. 20 people made the game. Like for what's in here, for what's actually here, and for like the level that they pulled it off, I gotta give it to them.
The
Like,
future
I don't
of this
feel like I
studio
lost.
is beyond bright.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like you know. Usually, you'll be a little salty if you spend $60 on a game that wasn't worth it. But like just because I want to support them, I don't care. I don't mind. It really don't mean anything. So yeah, everything Baron said plus Kung Fu is dope, and you got me with that.
Before we get to our suggestions, I do want to go over to Hugger because she also got hands on with the game. Hugger, your thoughts on Biomutant?
I'm with Baron and Dallas. I can't take away that 20 people made this game. This is impressive. Like, I can't underestimate that because it's 7 out of 10 is still passing. I don't know where people say 70% is not
no,
passing.
that's a good game. Yeah.
Like, go back to some of your favorite games, go on like Metacritic or something, and look up the scores of your favorite games, and I can tell you most of them will probably be in the 70s or 60s even. It's hollow, but I also play Red Dead Redemption, so that's hollow. GTA 5 is hollow. I think everything that is wrong with the game, quote unquote, can be fixed with patches. And there's a big patch that just came out, and there's things that can change if they update the game, fix that gibberish even more, where if you're going to have gibberish, lay it on top of each other. It's beautiful. It reminds me of like a Beautiful Joe with a weird Pokemon furry mix in there. I'm enjoying it. I like busy work games. You guys know Assassin's Creed is my favorite series, so I have no problem putting in a podcast and just listening and going and playing this game. But stop hating. I hope it comes to
Yeah.
Game Pass so people can experience how good this
I was
is,
about to
though.
say, it sounds like what y'all have told me is that it's going to come to Game Pass, and then I'll play it and I'll enjoy it.
I mean, yeah.
So granted, I
Hopefully.
haven't played the game, but everything I've seen and read and y'all's opinions tells me that I think what Biomutant is it seems like Biomutant is a good game that is suffering from the state of journalism and media in today's day and age. Because you can't write a headline for an article that says, this game was pretty good. Or, I liked this, but I didn't like this. You have to say either, I hated it, it's the worst thing ever, or, oh my god, most amazing thing, this is God's gift to us gamers. Or nobody clicks your article and reads it. It's that clickbait mentality is what is causing people to sway their reviews in one way or the other. Not everybody can be like Baron and say, no, I'm a reasonable human being with a brain. I can tell you that this is a mostly good game with a few things that I would change. And therefore it gets a very reasonable but still positive score. So I think that's the problem, is too many media outlets are concerned with not actually reviewing the game, but with how many clicks their review is going to generate. And, so you fall into this trap.
I agree with you so wholeheartedly. And recently, Young Ye delisted his review of Cyberpunk because he said, I rushed through this game. I approached it with somebody that had the positive mindset, and I had a good time, and I wouldn't listen to people that had criticisms of the game. So I have to delist this review and basically re-review the game as somebody who is looking at it objectively instead of a fan of the game.
Did he get a
and
free
I appreciate.
Share?
No, he did not. But
okay.
I think he got the game for free.
Okay.
But I appreciate, and that's maybe we can have like a little reviewers chat and have some of the reviewers come on. I appreciate when somebody can look back and go, I messed up, because we got the game Monday that it was available. And that makes me question, and that yes, it's a small game, but it's put out by a big company. A lot of the reviews we see now, like Rockstar is known for not giving advanced copies as well. So is the Red Dead Redemption 2 review that we've been seeing, is that good? Is that steady? But yeah, that's another conversation.
Red Dead 2 was good though. Like, I really enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead 2 is great.
Honestly,
but
as
the
somebody
day one
who was-
reviews
who was
had me questioning it.
frustrated by a lot of the path that the story took, because I was that dude, like, from the very first mission. I was like, man, I don't trust Dutch for shit. Why does my character trust Dutch so much? I don't want to do what Dutch says every time. And then you see the pattern of, you do what Dutch says, things go horribly wrong. And I'm like, stop locking me into this cycle. And I still enjoyed the hell out of that game. It was still a really good game.
I just got to question some of the bigger releases, like a day one. I know we are not a big company, but we do get some advance codes for a lot of games, some bigger titles as well. And I'm like,
Max.
I mean, Biomutant has been out a week, and Baron just got it done because we got it day one. Like,
Yeah.
We got our review code the
Hours
day
question.
before
released.
release. Hours.
Baron was on that grind.
he was. And he was on vacation, too.
Yeah, it was intense.
Crunch!
Listen, y'all know what time it is. If you're watching, drop in the chat your suggestions, something that you guys maybe played this week, something you guys have watched this week. Suggest something in the chat that you think other people in the chat need to check out. And also put the platform is on so people can find it, okay? But like I said, we do video game, anime, movie, TV, all three or one of the three. I'm gonna start with the homie Dallas. What are you suggesting this week, good sir?
Oh, what am I suggesting? I had a few in my head and I can't remember what they were. So, video game wise, it's gonna be kind of random, but Telltale Batman.
Legit.
Because
I had a
Telltale
lot of
Batman,
fun with
like,
that one.
it's different. You would think that at this point they really couldn't do any more different takes of Batman, and actually make them really good. But it is just that. Also, I'm suggesting that over Wolf Among Us because you gotta read Fables. I feel like I said that a couple times here, but I haven't heard nobody say, "Hey, I read it," so I'm saying it again. Fables is top 5 favorite comics for me. It's a lot of twists, a lot of like unexpected stuff. It's a lot of pleasant surprises in it. So it's one of those really good. I don't want to say drama, but it's not a whole lot of action either. It happens to just be good, just off how the characters play off each other. Um, and also another one that I suggested before, but I haven't heard anybody say. Um, haven't heard anybody say that they saw it. Chocolate.
What'd you call me?
Chocolate rain.
I knew somebody was gonna lie.
I've seen that.
Man, if you have never seen a little girl kung fu the shit out of a bunch of grown men,
She kicks some
and you would
ass,
like
man.
to, just Google chocolate. Not chocolates or
Oh.
whatever that romance
Are
movie
you sure
was
you want them
called.
to Google chocolate? Because they're just gonna get chocolate.
It's true. Maybe
Chocolate movie?
yeah.
Anime?
Yes. It's a movie.
Martial
It's a
arts
live
movie.
action.
Yeah.
It's a live action. What is it? Thai or something? I want to say it's Thai.
I think you might be
Um,
right. I think so.
But yeah, it's about a little girl whose mama and daddy used to be gangsters. And now her mama is sick, and so her and her cousin find this little book of people that owe her money. So they go around trying to collect money for her from people that supposedly owe her. And yeah, people don't really take little girls seriously till she beat the dog shit out of them. So it's just as good as it sounds. Whatever you imagine it is better.
Okay.
Y'all know how I am about beautiful fight choreography. This is one of those. But yeah, that's all for me.
Before we get to snips, I want to go to the chat for our obligatory weekly. The floor hug is so fine. What up, King Arthur?
King Arthur, how you doing?
Citizen Snips, what you got this week, brother?
So video game, you already know I'm gonna go say Mass Effect Legendary. Go play it. I just beat one on stream last night, and I'm gonna have to go back and replay it off stream to finish my achievements and stuff. Because I got the bug. I got excited about 2, so I wanted to move on to 2, so I rushed things a little bit towards the end. Yeah, go play Mass Effect Legendary. It's fantastic. I love it. Movie wise, I recently watched A Quiet Place. I was
2
with a
or
buddy
1?
of
Oh, good.
mine, and we were trying to go the one.
The first
We were
one,
trying to
okay.
go. We were trying to go to Top Golf at first, and then there was like a huge wait. And I was like, "Well, we can go see a movie." And then we looked at what's in theaters, and that was like Quiet Place 2 was like the only thing that really looked interesting to us. And I was like, "Crap, I haven't seen 1 yet." So we ended up just coming back to my place and doing a movie night to watch 1. And I was pretty pleased with it. If you paid too much attention to the trailers for 2, you will spoil yourself a little bit about something major that happens in 1, like I did. But overall, good movie. It delivers on its suspenseful parts pretty well. It's decently well written, good acting. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I would check that out. And supposedly 2's getting really good reviews right now. So if you haven't seen 1 yet, do it, and then see 2 afterwards. And then let's see. For an anime, there is one. It's kind of just like a little simple, little wholesome one. It's got a little comedy to it. I need to look up the name again because it's one of those that has like a 9 billion word name.
Of
You need me to-
course.
want me to swing back?
Right. Here we go. No, I got it.
Okay.
If I can look the English translation.
Oh, there's the
It's
F-bomb.
basically like I killed slimes every day for 300 years and I hit max level. Is like the gist of it. You just see 300 slimes in the name, yeah. But it's about a girl who dies. She's like in her late 20s. She dies at work from overwork. She's like super stressed out. Just dies. When she goes to the afterlife, the god there feels bad for her. So she's like, you know, look, I feel bad that you had such a horrible life when you were so young and like you worked yourself to death. Like I'm gonna let you have a little say in I'll reincarnate you and you can like pick where you want to go. She's like, oh man, I just want to have a super easy life and not have to worry about jack crap ever. So they reincarnate her as this like young-looking immortal witch who lives in this nice, pleasant little place all by herself. And like she realizes she's like, oh well, I'm still gonna have to like make money somehow. And she like there's monsters in the world. It's kind of RPG-ish. So she like starts killing slimes every day on her way into town. The next thing you know, 300 years go by and they finally check her level and she's got like all max stats because she's killed 27 slimes a day every day for 300 years. So she ends up being super overpowered, and it's just like a kind of like a buddy anime. She meets a couple compatriots who join her along the way, and it's like about how she's getting to realize all this like cool stuff in life now that she never got in her original life. Very lighthearted,
Sounds worth
nice
watching.
little wholesome anime. Yeah.
I'm about to watch that.
Baron Jones, who was born in 1967.
You know what? It's funny because this anime I'm gonna recommend has got one of those long titles, and it's not as fan servicey as it sounds. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
That's a good one.
It's a really, really solid anime that I think they're up to the 4th season.
I think
you can
the
watch
fourth
it
one's
on.
about to. It's waiting to air. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's coming, I think.
you can watch it on VRV, Funimation. It's a really, really good anime. The manga is actually really good as well.
The action sequences, man, are
Yeah, dude,
so
the
good.
fights are legit.
good.
Like when he fights the freaking the bull,
Minotaur?
like
Yeah,
the Minotaur.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
good.
god,
That's a good
some of
one,
the
yeah.
best fights I've seen in a long time. But it's funny because I feel like a lot of people get scared away from the title because it does sound super fan servicey. And it's not as bad, not even close. I know plenty of other stuff out there that's 1,000 times worse. And game
Damn, I feel like you're
wise,
calling me out.
game wise, I want to say Biomutant, not only because I just reviewed it, but it's fun. But like I said in the review, catch it on sale, because your miles may vary. Like what I loved about it, you may hate, which is all games. And then Outriders. I mean, join us. Outriders.
Every day.
Wait, no, hang on.
Outriders.
Somebody was trying to poop on Outriders, and does anybody still play it? And I was like, daily. I'm in there daily.
I mean,
I'm out.
same. Some people will post on anybody still playing Anthem. Yeah, me, because I'm
Daily.
stupid. I can't stop it.
Before we get to Flow Hugger, Brad Paulin asks, are you guys straying into light novels and Korean manhwa? Am I saying that correctly?
Awa. Yeah.
Boys Over Flowers, one of the greatest
Boys
shows
Over
of all
Flowers
time.
is fire.
Oh.
Baron put me
There's
on.
that K-drama in here, dang it.
That is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. Like, period.
Baron put me on the Boys Over Flowers. He did. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. All right, the Floor Hugger is so fine. What you got this week?
Before I get into my suggestions, I also want to shout out Laced Audio. I put my name in for a draw, and I won the Sekiro limited edition box set vinyl set this week.
Good shit.
Soundboard.
Very good shit.
And they have some actually really cool stuff. I think might pick up the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider vinyl set. You guys know I love vinyls. And they have a couple other games. A couple of the games and a couple of the movies. So I might pick up some stuff from them. For games, the indie game I'm going to suggest is Nightcall. It's on Game Pass, but it's leaving in 13 days. So it's like your last chance to play Nightcall. It's so the whole point is you are a taxi driver that was shot by a serial killer, and now you have to try to find the serial killer after you get out of hospital. And every time you play it, it's randomized. So you can have one run and it's somebody else, and then the second run is somebody completely different, and it's really cool like that. But 13 days left to play it, or if you have Game Pass, it's also 20% off if you're on Game Pass for AAA games. Although I guess this could be an indie game. Baron and I started playing Divinity Original Sin, so go check out that stream. We go full into accents, and he's my brother. I'm Thickus.
And I'm
Baron,
Thickums.
He's Thickums.
Thickus and Thickums.
Thickus and Thickums Rogers. So there we go. We're probably gonna play more of that because we are dumbasses, and I loved it. For a movie, it's a YouTube documentary, but I'm gonna say it's a movie because it's an hour and a half. On the channel ARTORR, they have the tragedy of Cyberpunk 2077, and they look at it from an objective point of view, where they document the entire like Mike Pondsmith and how it was a D&D expansion, but set in a cyberpunk world. What Projekt's like history was with making games and how they got to score cyberpunk, and just like the downfall and the marketing and all that stuff afterwards. It's so good. And for anime, The Way of the House Husband. I've suggested this before, but think of like a Majima from Yakuza turns into a house husband. That's exactly what it is, and it's so glorious and dumb, and I love it so much. I'm pretty sure it started off as a manga too. Go watch it. It's on Netflix.
I have no game suggestions. It's all shows.
You
and
don't play
movies.
games.
Yeah, I don't. All I play is Outriders. Outriders. For the show, if you haven't already, it's one season left. It's coming soon. Lucifer. Lucifer is fire. It's fire. Bear, did you finish season 5?
No, I passed out. I didn't finish it yet.
Bro, see the way Lucifer is fire. Go watch Lucifer. It's on Netflix. Netflix saved it when Fox canceled it, and there's one season left coming, season 6. So go check it out. Army of the Dead is in theaters and on Netflix as well. Go and check it out. The villain ain't really the villain in this. It's the colonizer. She's the villain. And last but not least, go check out Cruella. It's in theaters.
Is that? Yeah.
It is so good. When I took my kids to go see it, I thought, okay, this would be a good time for me to take a nap. I'll get them sugared up. Watch. No, I'm surprised they didn't take a nap. Cruella is fire. They did an amazing job. We have a review up on our site done by one of our entertainment reviewers. He gave it a good score, and it's well deserved. Cruella is an amazing movie. Go check it out.
Aim.
Yes.
Would you say, because Trevor and I were talking about this last night when we did our... Oh, that would frustrate me. So I watched on Trevor's Disney Plus. Would you say that Cruella is worth the $30?
Yes.
Because here our theaters are closed and his local theater shut down permanently.
Yes.
So
yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Yes, it's worth it.
Damn.
It's absolutely worth it. Such a good movie.
Okay.
Such a good movie.
I can't wait to talk Black Widow with you then.
Yeah, I'm going
because that's coming out soon.
I'm gonna be in the theaters. It's gonna be a great year for movies. But listen, you guys have been amazing. Don't forget, we do shows 6 days a week. Monday, 15 minutes of fame. I'm sorry, Snips.
There's one thing I remembered about the movie Dallas mentioned, Chocolate, that I wanted to bring up because I thought it was kind of neat. The young girl who's like the protagonist of the movie, she's autistic, and like the way that they phrase her learning martial arts is it's one of her like she has a watch or a learn by watching kind of thing. So like they move next to a dojo, so she like becomes like obsessed with watching them practice. And then she gets really into like martial arts movies. So I think there's like a scene where she's sitting there like watching a Bruce Lee movie and stuff. But then it flips that like, oh, she's obsessed with watching all these movies, but she learns all the techniques and stuff from them. So that it ends up adding like another level of coolness to like how the combat sequences and stuff pan out. And there's like references to older kung fu movies and stuff. It's pretty dope.
Oh, fire.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's pretty dope.
I know we had a question to check. 281 Dean, is it on Disney? I believe he's talking about Cruella. Yes, I believe it's $30 on Disney with the premiere, or you can go to the theaters and watch it. But listen, you guys have been awesome tonight. We really appreciate you guys. Remember, we do content 6 days a week. Monday, 15 minutes of fame. Tuesday, Cogs in the Machine. Today is Wednesday, Double XP Podcast. Tomorrow is Thursday, Take 2 Podcast. Friday is Peep Game. Saturday is Ready Press Play. And on Sunday, that's the Lord's Day. We rest. Go check out the Iron Lords podcast. Remember, get all your gaming news from LV1gaming.com. And with all that said, congratulations. You guys leveled up to 157. This was the XP Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.